Hello, welcome once again to another edition of the Coach's Corner program. I'm Jeff Ruth. Harding football coach John Brady joins me as always. And John, we weren't able to do a show last week, so we actually have a couple of weeks of highlights to show in a little bit. And let's back up, first of all, 2 weeks ago, game up at Toledo, and a game that you played very, very well.
Well, and the thing about the Toledo game, we played at all three phases of the game. We were very, very good special teams, very good offensively and defensively. And when you can do that, you have a great opportunity to win every game.
And then last week, really a tough loss over Warren.
Real tough. We came back and the kids never gave up. We did a great job. Got it down to where we wanted on the fourth down play, and we thought we had the first down. And, at that time, there was no way they were going to stop us. And we would have scored and we would have kicked the extra point. And I really believe, and I know our kids believe, and our coaching staff believe we'd have won that ball game.
I know you're anxious to be home this week.
It's great to be home. After that 3-hour bus ride to Warren and a 2-hour bus ride with construction added on in Toledo, it seems like we've never going to get back home. But, it feels great, and I hope everybody comes out because we've got a good show coming on.
All right. We'll talk about the game coming up this Friday. We'll also take a look at some of the highlights from the last 2 weeks. Also have several of the coaches we're going to talk to. We'll do all of that right after these words.
So here we are in the fourth quarter. No time left, and the touchdown is under review.
Hey, guys, what do you think?
We're not ready to go yet. Is there any way you can send this thing into overtime?
No problem.
I don't know what he was looking at, but we're going into overtime.
Buffalo Wild Wings, you have to be here.
This could finally end it. Oh, my.
Once again, back on the Coach's Corner program, a reminder that you can catch the show at 4 o'clock in the morning, at noon, and at 8 o'clock in the evening. And one of my guests we're going to talk to is Larry Whistler. And Larry, you're one of those coaches that came back. I just said couldn't stay away, and you said, nope, not this time.
No, when John called, I welcomed that opportunity, and it's been a lot of fun being back. We've got a great group of kids. They're very coachable, and it's been a good time. It really has.
Nice mixture of some of the I was going to say the older coaches, some of the veteran coaches.
You can say old, that's okay. The kids do, they know.
Okay, some of the older coaches, veteran sounds better, and a nice mix of some of the younger guys too.
Right, and when we started to come back, people called us Over the Hill Gang, the Expendables. We got those kinds of tags, and that's okay too.
Talk a little bit about what position or /positions that you coach.
I'm coaching linebackers this year on the defense. And again, it's a really solid group of kids. Have kids like LJ over here, Brock Madison, Preston Daniel, Brandon Noggle, Tex Fallon, and Nate Lawrence. And Trey wants me to mention Trey as a linebacker, but he's not.
Okay. As far as what Coach Brady brings this year, obviously he was here a few years ago.
Right.
From his coaching philosophy, have you noticed any changes in maybe how he coaches now as opposed to what he did?
I think it's still very similar to what he was doing a few years ago. I know that before the season started this year, he made over 200 personal house calls, not by phone, but personal visitations, to talk to parents, to talk to players. He did a great job of revitalizing interest in football and getting kids to come out.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights. We have 2 games to look at. First of all was that game up at Toledo,
Right.
Scott, and played very, very well, I know, in that one.
Okay, in this first clip, Kobe does a great job of avoiding pressure, getting himself in space, and getting upfield for a first down. And again, I believe that's LJ from a Wildcat formation, and he's able to do what he's done so often this year. He's able to run the table and get into the house. And again, similar play, going the other way. Breaks one tackle there, makes a guy miss, and makes a third and a fourth guy miss before he goes down. So another great run. This also is LJ off the left side of our line. Is able to cut back, get his shoulder squared up, and get extra yards after contact. I think that's Roger Hammond's pick on 2 crossing routes. And there's another pass from Kobe to LJ. Again, makes people miss.
Jeez.
Able to stay on his feet and pick up extra yards.
That's impressive.
And that is a pass completed from Kobe to Trey for another nice gain. There's Keontae Rogers on a toss, again off the left side. And I believe that's LJ, am I correct? No, that's Keontae also, thank you.
Going to the bag of tricks a little bit there, huh?
Just a little bit. This is not just a great pick, obviously it is, but Trey makes two great blocks, one at the point of the interception, and he leveled the receiver, and you can see him again here at the bottom of the screen, actually getting by AJ and getting another block at the end of that. So he really had two key blocks on that long interception return. Again, a great interception and great blocking.
And then the following week, again, back on the bus for another long
That was
trip
a long trip. That's about a 3.5-hour trip.
over to Warren Howland.
Correct. On this first snap, we're on the defensive side of the ball. I can't quite see who makes that play, but it's made for no gain. Okay, again on toss. That's a nice job of, I may have been Keontae knifing in and making the tackle for little or no gain.
Was that a busted play there?
I think it was. I think Kobe improvised here, and I believe he hits LJ out on the rim, out in the edge. Okay, nice hole for LJ. He gets squared up, and again, he's difficult to tackle once he gets a little crease. He's hard to bring down. Okay, again, a similar kind of run. It's a very tough run. Okay, we have another throw here from Kobe. I'm not sure who that went to. Couldn't see that. There's another long pass, a nice job from Kobe, great protection, and I believe AJ caught that ball as well.
I know in that start game you mentioned, start-cut game, you mentioned a couple of plays out of the Wildcats. That's something that you're kind of developing?
No, I believe we've been working on that since early in two-a-days, actually. So it's nothing that's been new as far as developing in the course of over the course of the season. That started as soon as we started back in August.
It's week 7. Talk about the progression where you started with two-a-days to where you are now, and how much improvement you've seen out of this team.
I've seen a lot of improvement on both sides of the ball. Kids on both sides are becoming a lot more knowledgeable about what's expected of them, what to do, and how to do that. I know on the defensive side of the ball, starting, even though Mansfield scored a lot of points on us, that really started the Mansfield senior game. We held them scoreless, I believe, for the first quarter. We had a lot of kids who had motors in that game. They played fast, they were playing hard, but they played with a lot of intelligence also, and that's what we're striving to do, to play fast and to play with intelligence and to play with discipline.
You know, we've talked with John certainly since week 1. Obviously, numbers were not where you would have liked to have seen them last year. Obviously, the numbers are getting back up there. With that said, though, you got a lot of players that have very little or no playing experience till this year, and I know you're kind of working them into the program.
Yeah, and that's correct, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing so much improvement as we go through the course of the season. As those kids get more coaching and more playing experience, they have a better understanding of what they need to do at their individual positions.
All right, Larry, appreciate you being on.
Thank you.
It's just like old times, isn't it?
Don't say old.
All right, thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more on our Coach's Quarter program right after these words.
Armstrong genuine hardwood floors. Tested to withstand the unexpected.
Once again, back on the Coaches Corner program, we have three of the freshman coaches that are going to join us, and we'll start to my right, Mike McCreary. Mike, welcome back again.
Well, thanks, Jeff.
Freshman coach, talk a little bit about this year's freshman ball club.
First of all, I think we did a nice job, and I think Todd will talk later to numbers, but we've got a lot of kids out for the team. We've got 44 dressed each week. They go to practice, they come back the next day, they're having fun. It's been great. I spent a lot of time in the spring at Grant Middle School having lunch with those kind of kids potentially to come out, and so we're real happy about the numbers we got out.
Talk about getting the call from John and your first reaction.
It was quite humbling, first of all. And he says, I remember you doing freshman football. You did a nice job with it. I want you to come back and do it again. And it's been 25 years since I last coached a football team, so this has been exciting. But yet I haven't been away from football. I've been with it as long as you've been with us.
Yeah.
So that's been a good deal. So it's been fun.
Kind of talk a little bit about this year's team, how successful they've been.
We're 2-3 right now. We are probably either seconds or one play away from an undefeated season. We've scored a lot of points. We get better each week with our offense. Sometimes our defense is suspect to what needs to be done, but just this past weekend we lost 35-49, and we were still in the ball game right up to the last 5 minutes. So we're very competitive.
You mentioned you've been away a long time. Has the terminology changed much in that period?
Terminology never changes. It's based on the coach. What their system is, how they number, how they go right to left and left to right and so forth and so on. But it's been easy to pick up. It's a lot of the system that I remember when Todd played, and I remember sitting in on those meetings even though I was principal with Coach Hinton and his staff back then. I always had an idea of what they were doing. I always wanted to give them a play. I always had a throw in.
Did it work?
No, they never listened to me.
Oh, did they? Okay. Well, I know Coach Brady and the rest of the staff's glad to have you on board too.
I'm very proud. Thank you.
You mentioned Todd. Kind of talk a little bit about what role you have in this year's ball club.
Just being the head coach, I kind of just, keep an eye on the kids, make sure the kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing. I'm the only coach really in the building, but I'm blessed to have Mike on the staff because he's retired. He's kind of like my second command. He always helps me keep an eye on the kids and stuff like that, everything from grades and whatnot. And generally, if parents have an issue or something like that, they call me, or for kids checking out during the day, he gets a hold of me, and basically just kind of be that guy in the building that the kids can go to when they need something.
Talk about numbers.
Numbers are really great. For the past 2 years, we didn't have a freshman football team, and we made it our mission, and Coach Brady gave us the mission to make sure that we had a lot of kids out. And fortunately, this group of kids I coached in the 7th and 8th grade, so I knew them and they knew me. So we kept the core of the kids together, but we also got another 8, 9, 10 kids out, which is great for the program because every program is built, in my personal opinion, as far as high school goes, from the freshman level up. And if we can keep those kids out, the numbers in the future are going to be very good, and the more kids you have, the better off you're going to be.
Just kind of talk a little bit about Coach Brady's approach and how you follow what he wants you to do.
Well, Coach Brady was my defensive coordinator when I was in high school, and when I was in college, I always stayed pretty close with Coach Brady. He actually was one of the people who brought me back here as a coach, and as was Coach Mack when he was principal. So I know what John expects. So going into this year, I knew what he wanted of me, and I had no apprehension about doing any of that.
Talk a little bit about maybe the freshman team from where you started back in August to where you are now, the second week in October, how much this team's progressed.
We've come a long way. We really have. One of the things that I think we've done a good job at is I think we've eliminated a lot of the things that kind of snake bit us early in the year, like turnovers and stuff like that. But like Mike said, we are, couple seconds, couple plays away from being undefeated. So, we've come a long way, and our kids have really bought into what we're doing. And we're sitting here, 6 weeks into the season, and we still have 40-plus kids, and we started with 40-plus kids. So I think that's a testament, not to us, but just to the kids and how good they are as young men.
You talked about, the 7th and 8th grade program, the freshman program. Obviously, it's a key to get those guys staying with the program as they move into the JV level and then the varsity level.
Sure. I mean, that's always important. Also, one of the things about this group of kids is they're the first group of kids to spend any amount of time, like any long amount of time together in the Marion City Youth Program. They actually played together in 6th grade, and then obviously 7th and 8th grade at Grant, and then now 9th graders. So, I mean, they're not the first group to go all the way through, but they're the first group to play together outside of middle school, then move into middle school, and now move into high school. So there's a huge upside to this group of kids. I think they could be pretty special by the time they're seniors.
All right, when's your next game?
We actually play tomorrow at Sandusky. We actually travel to Sandusky, so that's always a fun bus ride up Route 4.
As we tape this, it's Tuesday afternoon.
It is
actually
Tuesday.
That would be on Wednesday then.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
sir. Yep.
Good luck.
Thanks.
And one of the young guys over there, Austin,
Yes,
I remember
yes.
Austin at Marion Catholic
Yep, that
a
was
few
me.
years ago. Can I talk a little bit about how you ended up over here?
I came on staff a couple years ago, and then when Coach Brady came on, he asked me to help out with the freshmen, and it's been a great experience ever since. Coach Schneider, Coach Mack, Coach Bosch, we have a good time doing what we're doing, and the kids are turning out in numbers. It's been a lot of fun.
Now, you can get a lot of experience from these guys, can't you?
Yes, you can. You just gotta soak it up like a sponge.
Talk a little bit about what your role is in the team.
I coach the quarterbacks, the wideouts, and the DBs, safeties and cornerbacks.
Let's talk a little bit about the offense and how the offense has progressed.
The offense has came a long way. I mean, from the first days of camp, we were pretty much run majority, which we still are, but we can throw the ball, and our quarterback has a nice head on his shoulders, and we're able to do things with it.
Pretty much keep the same system that Coach Brady runs
Yes,
at the varsity level?
yes, exact same.
So it makes it nice. So, next year, a couple of years from now, once they're in that system, they'll know the terminology, they'll know what to do there.
It's a good transition, and that's what we're really trying to get at that level, is the easy transition to varsity.
All right, excellent. Appreciate joining us. Coach, thank you. Coach, thank you as well.
Thank you, Jeff.
We'll be back. We'll preview the game coming up this Friday night with Coach Brady. We'll do that right after these words.
Marion Center Cinemas is proud to bring first-run movies to Marion at an affordable price.
That's right, your Marion Center Cinemas only charges $5 a ticket for all movies all the time.
But that's not all. Wednesday nights are Harding senior nights.
That's right, all Harding High School seniors get in free on Wednesday nights.
So why drive an hour or more to an expensive out-of-town movie theater when you can enjoy first-run entertainment right here in your hometown?
Marion Center Cinemas. We'll see you at the movies.
Back once again on the Coach's Corner program. Coach mentioned you've been on the road the last couple of weeks. Good to be home next week, or this week rather.
Great to be home this week, and we're familiar with everything. The times when we eat, we have a little bit extra time to sit down, relax, and go over some things and some film, some walkthroughs. So everything's perfect, and we'll be ready to go for Friday.
Let's talk a little bit about Sandusky.
They're a team, the record doesn't show how good they really are, and they're a good team. I think they've won one game, but they've been in many ball games. Their offense is explosive. They have 4 or 5 kids like a Mansfield senior who can just flat out run. They don't have the size, but they can flat out run. And defensively, it seems like the same thing every week. They're a 4-3 defense that will just blitz and play man on the receivers, and they take a lot of chances. So we better be ready to go.
Everybody, I realize at this point, is kind of dinged up a little bit, but are you pretty healthy at this point?
Yeah, we are. We did lose A.J. Jones. Alan Jones got hurt, broke his collarbone on an attempt to make a touchdown catch in the end zone. He's been having a great career. He had a great season. He's been great on returns. He's our speed guy, but, in football, it's tough, and I know for well of the hand that when someone gets hurt, now someone's time to step up. So that's why we always tell the kids, you're one play away to being in the ball game. And, we're going to miss A.J., but we do have some people dinged up, but I think we'll be okay for Friday night except for A.J.
All right, well, it sounds like the weather's going to be real nice on Friday night. Not sure how many of those we're going to get the rest of the season, so hopefully we'll have a good crowd on Friday night. John, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Going to wrap it up for this edition of the Coach's Corner program. Again, if you can get out and support the Harding Presidents, please do so. Home game on Friday night. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Coach's Corner program. For head coach John Brady, I'm Jeff Ruth.